How's everyone doing? I'm Dave. You're watching Wanderlust or Bust, and today is a really exciting day because today we are going to put in a battle-born lithium iron phosphate battery into the Alto. We're replacing our deep cycle battery and hoping for a lot more runtime. So let's see how easy it goes in and see what happens. Okay, before I show you how I switch this battery out, which should be pretty easy, I'm going to tell you why I'm doing it. My Alto came with a Group 27 battery. It's got about 95 amp hours or so in it. However, of those 95, I can only use about half of them, so only about 47 amp hours are actually usable because, if you don't know this, on a standard deep cycle battery, if you dip below 50% capacity enough times, and that's really 3-4 times, you can kill the battery for good. You'll never be able to charge it up. With the Battleborn lithium battery I select, I've got 100 amp hours, and those are 100 usable amp hours, and that's key. I can fill that up to 100 amp hours full capacity, drain it all the way down to zero, and not harm the battery. That's called a battery cycle life, and in fact, the Battleborn comes with about 3,000 to 5,000 battery cycles on there, which is far more than you'd ever get with the lithium. So not only do I get longer life, I also get more battery hours out of it. Now, the Battleborn costs about 3 times as much as a very good quality deep cycle battery, say by Trojan, which I looked at, and they're great batteries. However, at $300 for a Trojan and about $950 for a Battleborn, I end up actually saving money over the life of the battery because it's going to last 3 to 5 times longer, plus I get the bonus of twice as much power. So, it was a no-brainer for me if you can afford that initial upfront cost. Now, let's get into showing you what I need to do and how to drop this thing into my RV. Alright, so the Battleborn is billed as a drop-in and replace for your deep cell batteries, and you can see it's going to fit right in the space. It is approximately the exact same size, width, dimension of my Group 27 battery. However, like I said before, it's got twice the capacity. Where this is a 95 amp hour battery, this is a 100 amp hour battery. The other big difference is the weight. This thing, I want to say it weighs somewhere between 60, maybe 70 pounds, closer to 60 though, I haven't weighed it exactly. The Battleborn comes in at 35 pounds, which is a heck of a lot lighter. It's real easy to tote around. It's going to reduce my tongue weight and make all those things good. However, make sure you don't get too light on the tongue because you still want to be 10% of your overall trailer weight for safe towing. The last big difference that's worth pointing out is the type of terminal connections. This has spade connectors. Traditional batteries have a screw-on. I'll give you a close-up picture. It should probably be showing up in this corner in just a second. So you may need to mount your batteries a little different. Battleborn does give you a couple of nuts and screws to help connect your wires so it fits in real nice. Let's put it in place, see how it fits. Okay, the battery's in. And if you're watching close, you're going to notice that it is backwards from how I showed you before. That's why I put it in and found out that my wires for the positive terminal, didn't reach all the way to this side, so I just rotate it, take it in and out of the box. You may have noticed something else. When I did it, the battery doesn't come with a strap. You can get one extra from the factory. I didn't do that. What I did, used a couple screwdrivers, put them through the spade terminals and use that to kind of use as a lift to get up and down. Didn't seem to put any stress on the battery since it's such a light battery, and I was only lifting for a second or two and then put it right back in. Seems to be seated in place and it's ready for wires. As I was telling you, they send you some nuts and washers to put the wires on with. You'll see it's stainless steel, it looks like, maybe just chrome. And then there's 2 brass washers on there that you'll connect on either side of the brass terminal for a nice pure connection. You don't get as much corrosion that way. Now the big thing is just make sure I connect the black wires to the black side, red wires to the red side. We should be in business. So let's see how this goes. Okay, so we found problem number 1 in this whole install right now. Battery's in, the wires are connected, but I can't seem to get the lid to sit down. I gotta do some remeasurements, see if maybe this battery is a little bit taller than the one I replaced it with. But that's what I'm working with right now, so we'll see what happens. Okay, the Battleborn's finally in. My problem, as you saw in the fast forwarded video, is that I had a number of these spacers in the battery box, and it seemed like the battery would fit, but it didn't quite get all the way down in the box. So I removed one, then another, then another. Turned out to be this front one was pinching it too far front to back, and it wouldn't get all the way down. Now it's all recessed, it's in place, wires are connected, and I'm ready to roll except for one more key thing. Well, two, I gotta properly strap that, but it's temporary right now. Two, I have, as you mentioned before, or I mentioned before, solar panels on here, which means I have a solar controller. I now have to go in and adjust the solar controller to switch it from a lead acid battery to a lithium battery. Charging profile is a little bit different, voltage ratings. There's also a conversation you're going to have about the power controller in your RV or travel trailer. We'll have that in just a second. Okay, so I have a Victron Smart solar controller in my RV, my Alto travel trailer. It is awesome. One of the things I like about the best is it's a Bluetooth app that allows me to control, configure, check all the diagnostics as it's running. So I'm going to change it right now to accommodate the Battleborn battery. Launch it. There's my Smart Solar. Connect to it. This is all done through Bluetooth technology inside the Alto. All right, so here's our display. You can see right now it's kind of fun. I'm pulling up 11 watts. You've got historical data. You've got your voltage. Right now my battery's at 14.56. Actually, the solar's at 14.56, battery's at 13.44, which is right on spot. It's sent from this factory at about 13.3 volts or so that's right on spec. Now I'll come into here to the settings, choose the battery, and battery preset. Right now it's at factory default. I want to go in there. I want to select a preset. You scroll through the list, and here you have lithium iron phosphate or LiFePO4. That's a lithium battery. That's the technology used, so I'm going to select that. Click OK, and you'll see it changes things like the absorption voltage, maximum absorption time, float voltage, all these wonderful things. So now I know my battery is being charged at the perfect rate and then held in a float state once again at the perfect rate. This brings up another good conversation we're going to have about the power controller. Let's do that. Okay, I want you all to know that before I ordered the lithium battery from Battleborn, I did a lot of research, not just on batteries, but also the companies. I actually called Battleborn a number of times. I also called Progressive Dynamics, who makes my power controller, to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. So here's what I learned. My power controller is by company Progressive Dynamics. It's designed to work with a standard lead acid battery, which is fine, it's great. However, the charging profile for a lithium battery is a little different, so I was concerned that if I undercharge it, would it cause any damage? Well, I learned two things from both the engineers at Progressive Dynamics and from Battleborn. First, I will not harm the battery at all or shorten or diminish or impede its battery life at all if I undercharge it. The only thing that would happen is I'd get a little less battery hours out of it. But the good news is, even though they sell power controllers specifically for lithium batteries, you don't necessarily need one according to them. In a bulk state rate, my Progressive Dynamics 9200 series charger charges at about 14 volts, 14.4 volts in a bulk state, and then floats at 13.6, which is precisely what Battleborn wants. It wants a bulk charge rate. Bulk is when it's most empty and needs to get the most capacity through it, of 14.4, and a float rate when it's full and just kind of keeps it steady coming in about 13.6. So my Progressive Dynamics 9200 series with the optional Charge Wizard pendant that you can buy is perfectly good. I bring up that pendant for a good reason. It's about $12. You can plug it in, and then you can actually manually see what mode it's in. You can put it into boost, float manually. I don't think you need to do that. The engineers say I don't need to do that, so I'm going to wait and see right now. So right now I'm running a purely stock system of my IntelliCharger 9200 series with the new Battleborn, and the only thing I've changed is I upgraded my solar controller to the Smart Solar from Victron, and I changed that over to a lithium iron battery charge profile. So everything's in right now. Everything should be working. we're going to be taking some vacations. We're actually heading out to the Badlands, so we're going to see how it works out there a little bit. Even though we're going to be hooked up for a good portion of the time, we'll also have some boondocking experiences, so we'll get a chance to see what this is like. Looking forward to that. Okay, I think that pretty much does it for the video. I appreciate taking the time. If you got any questions, thoughts, comments, put them down in the comments right there. Tell me, do you like lithium batteries? Are you curious about it? Do you want to use AGM? Do you want to keep using deep cycle batteries? Do you not think the cost is worth it? I want to hear what you guys have to think about it. And as always, everything I've talked about or showed is going to have Amazon links. That'll also be in the description. So if you want to buy a Battleborn or any of these wonderful products, I highly suggest them. And I should tell you, I bought them all myself. I haven't gotten any of these for free, so this is not a paid endorsement. This is just stuff I'm using. Thanks a lot. Appreciate your time. Keep watching. And if you like what you see, subscribe, because we got more videos coming up. And until later, wob on, friends.